What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Getting Technical. I'm Zach, joined by Raleigh and Sam. What's going on, fellas?
It's good. How's it going, boys?
Chilling. It's Friday night. Thursday night game was last night. Cardinals Saints. I didn't get a chance to watch all of it, but I saw. Obviously, the Cardinals defense was pretty crazy. 2 touchdowns, 3 picks, and. I mean, they needed that because they've been pretty bad as of recent. They've been terrible.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, they definitely need it. And look, it was D Hop's first game back. He had a big game. I think that at the end he was at 9 catches for 99 yards on the dot, and then they had the ball with like less than 3 minutes left, and I assumed that they were just going to run out the clock, and then they threw him a screen pass immediately. And he ran like 3 yards. He finished with like 10 for 103.
Yep.
I think they cheesed it a little bit, but they look good all around. But there was that video that came out.
The argument?
Of Kyler Murray just screaming at
He looks like
Cliff
he's just done with Kingsbury.
Yeah.
He looks so like you don't do like he was visibly like just like pissed, and I feel like that doesn't really happen unless you're really just like at least because you're on the national stage like. You don't want everyone to see that, really, but he was just like kind of like, I don't give a fuck, like I'm so done with this. But it kind of makes sense. They've been pretty disappointing this year.
Do you see him going anywhere else?
Who?
Murray?
Curry?
I see them firing Kingsbury before they trade Kyler.
For sure, yeah, they definitely.
But I'm saying, what if Kyler wants out?
I don't think he wants out. I think he just continue to complain about Kingsbury.
Just wants.
I think it's a play calling thing.
I think it is.
Their whole team just kind of looks like, especially. At least week 1, it was like very evident, and even in the beginning of week 2, basically the first 6 quarters they played, they just looked like they didn't want to be there.
Mm-hmm. But it's tough when, I mean, you constantly have injuries at running back. They had Darrell Williams and James Conner, both of them go down. You got your third string with Eno Benjamin in. You finally got D Hop back, but for the first 6 games of the year, you don't have him. New receiver with Hollywood Brown. He really didn't have that great of a connection with him. They had great games, but
like good numbers.
Yeah, good numbers, but it wasn't anything consistent that they were able to ride on.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't see them doing. I don't see them as a playoff team this year. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs with how well the NFC East is. I think the Falcons, could shock a bunch of people, sneaking in as like a wild card, or I mean. Them and the Bucks are both 3-3.
Yeah.
And without that Grady Jarrett call, you never know what happens.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? They get the ball back. Who knows what could happen?
Yeah, and the NFC West by itself, I mean, it's kind of a toss-up right now because everybody was at 3-3 going into that game last night for the Cardinals, and now I guess they're 3-4 because they were 2-4 going into it. So, I mean, they're kind of riding on the hopes that everybody loses this week. I mean, the Niners are playing the Chiefs, which is going to be a tough game for them. And I mean, we obviously already know the news that came out with them and everything.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
we'll get to that
touch
later.
on that later.
But still, either way, the NFC West is going to be close, but there's not a lot of wild card spots available. So teams are going to have to try and pull away soon to try and get that playoff spot locked up.
Yeah. And then, I mean, to go back to Sunday from this past week, I mean, we spoke about the Jets and the Giants the week prior, and we're like, how big are these games? Like, are these statement games for them? And I mean, they both came out on top against 2 powerhouses in the NFL. So it's like
they both made it. It was kind of like, at least for me as a Jets fan, and even as someone who watches the Giants a lot because I have a lot of friends who are Giants fans. They were winning games, but I didn't really take them that seriously still. But after they just showed out again, and it's like at this point. Pretty obvious that they might not be the best teams in the NFL, but they're in the playoff mix and they need to be respected by all the teams that play them. Because for the past few years, it's like the Jets and Giants. Like if you're a decent team, you check them off as a win.
Yeah.
But you can't do that right now. Defenses are both looking great. Offenses, the running backs are really and the play calling is kind of carrying their offenses, but they both look good.
Yeah, they both. I mean, they both have 2 stud running backs. Breece Hall has, shown that he's about to be like a guy, and Saquon.
He's bad.
He's Saquon. Like he hasn't skipped a beat from where he was when he was at his peak, and like you said, like the play calling is awesome. Like Dable is utilizing everything through Saquon, and I don't know if he's holding Daniel, because it doesn't seem like he's holding Daniel Jones back, because like he's like believing in him, he's letting him throw, and I mean Daniel Jones is just making the right decisions, he's taking care of the football. And then, like you said, like I mean, at least for me, like the Giants defense has been pretty outstanding, and they really don't have any big name guys like they did, like when they had the crazy defensive front in 07 and 11 when you had Strahan, Umenyiora, Justin Tuck, JPP, Kiwanuka, Antonio Pierce. You know what I'm saying? Like you had a bunch of big name guys that were all Pro Bowl, all pro guys. On this team, I mean, you got a bunch of young guys, and I mean they're just making it happen.
Yeah, for sure. I actually watched a video this week of Emmanuel Acho breaking down a play for the Giants, and it was just basically saying how Daboll has like these plays that he just draws up for Saquon. He's like, look, I'm gonna get you an open space, make something happen, and it looks like that Saquon's able to do that almost every single time so far this year, which has been the best part of the Giants' offense because the whole wide receiving core is a giant question mark. They don't have the greatest tight end group, and their offensive line has played very well, which is perfect for Saquon because he's really the only way that they've been able to move the ball on a consistent basis.
What are the chances the Giants get OBJ?
I think it depends on how healthy he is. Remember, he did tear his ACL in the Super Bowl. It's still a very new injury, and he's also, was he 29 already? It's tough to come back from. Not many players do it. I understand it happens a lot nowadays, but it happens a lot to young players, and...
What about DJ Moore for them?
I would love.
Like we keep alluding to, we want to talk about the CMC stuff later, but
I think
they're selling.
I think it's interesting, but the thing is that
a good piece for them. He's a nice young player.
They already have a lot of money tied up in their receiver group with Slayton, Kenny Golladay. They obviously have Kadarius Toney on a rookie deal.
Well, he wants to be
Shepard.
What if they use
Shepard?
Toney
They got
to get
money under
DJ Moore because Toney. I don't know if they're gonna. He can't stay on the field.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with him.
I don't know what their cap situation
his talent is there. We all know that. If he hasn't been playing. So.
Yeah, I mean, I would love DJ Moore as a Giants fan.
It's pretty impressive what the Giants are doing with, like, especially Daniel Jones. Like, their receivers, they don't really have anyone who's, at least the average fan will know.
Yeah, the
who's
dude
doing stuff.
Yeah, who's the dude that played last week? 84, I think Marcus Johnson or Marquise Johnson, or I don't even know his first name.
I was looking something up. What are we talking about?
Who's number 84? Number 84 on the Giants, Marquise Johnson or something like that.
Marquise Goodwin.
No, exactly. Johnson. Like this is like he was like they pulled him up.
I thought you were talking about Richie James for a second.
Yeah, no, not Richie James. Yeah, I like Slayton. Slayton's good.
But then they have, it's like Kenny Galladay's just been horrible. He's not even playing really. Kadarius Toney can't stay on the field.
Do you think Elijah Moore would go to the Giants after the trade request?
I don't think the Jets trade Elijah Moore.
No,
I just don't.
Yeah, no shot.
He's a second-year guy. Like. He's got the talent. They're clearly not.
Giants only have $3.9 million in cap space, by the way. So they can't bring on more unless they move Kenny Golladay or Slayton.
And no one's taking Kenny Galladay's contract.
Yeah, probably nobody will take Slayton either.
I think they're going to keep Slayton now. I think
they have to.
Yeah, they're going to keep Slayton.
I think the best place for DJ Moore to go for him and the team that's taking him on, and I guess for the Panthers, would be Chicago. Chicago needs wide receivers.
He don't want to go there.
He doesn't want to go there, but he doesn't really have much of an opportunity. The Chicago Bears need wide receivers. They have the 12th most cap space in the NFL right now. And Justin Fields needs to prove that he's the guy. And if the Bears make this kind of move and you give him a receiver, because that's the biggest thing about Justin Fields. He has nobody around him. They can't do anything on the offense. This is all really killing his ability to extend his career. Well, not extend his career, but establish his career.
Yeah.
I think for him, the Giants, it doesn't seem possible, but either the Packers, maybe?
Yeah, no, the Packers are definitely another team.
Even the Rams.
Right now, they got 10. They're 10th in the league for the most cap space available right now.
How much do the Rams got? I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams went and got him.
The Rams are at 15. They have $4.93 million in cap space, so they may be able to do it. They could always move stuff around. You can always, like how the Chiefs just did with Travis Kelce's contract. They just they renegotiated it. They gave him more money now to allow for more space to open up during the deadline.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of moves that can be made. We obviously know that the Panthers are doing a fire sale, trying to build towards the future. Mm-hmm. What that future is, I have no idea because they got 4 quarterbacks under contract already. You got to be able to get that first overall pick. But who you going to take right now? I mean, there's really no definite quarterback right now. It's kind of a group that you need to pick from.
Yeah.
They're going to be bad next year too. So
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're going to be bad for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're looking to trade their defensive pieces too. And
yeah, they're going to be in
second that
complete
happens,
rebuild.
yeah.
Yeah. Because if they get rid of Burns and they get rid of
Derek Brown, I know they're not. They already said they're not getting rid of J.C. Horn.
who else? Jeremy Chin, Dante Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have some good pieces on the defensive side. I thought they were going to be a lot more competitive this year.
I mean, it's just their quarterback play is just
That's the biggest thing.
just brutal.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield. I mean, people were saying, "Oh, he had a shoulder injury last year."
He's just bad.
The Browns just weren't doing the right plays for him. He's just bad. That's
yeah.
it. Same thing
I
with Sam.
kind of believed in him.
I
I
he
thought
gonna have
Baker
an
was going to be
okay
better.
year, but oh man.
Yeah, like I thought he was
He's
going to do just enough to get them to like 7 wins, 7 wins.
He's just not.
Build something on it and
Coaching
move
staff
towards the
is
draft.
Horrible.
They have a very tough schedule this year as well, though.
Yeah,
Very tough.
but still, the division that you're in, you should be able to get a couple wins. I mean, with the way Atlanta was pegged for the first overall pick before the year started.
Yeah.
In most spaces, but they're 3-3. They're fighting in the division right now. They went toe to toe with the Bucks and they got screwed out of a win, and they're showing that they can play. And they got Marcus Mariota at quarterback, out of all people.
He's been very comparable so far.
Right,
Like,
but he's been buried on Oakland for a while, and he just popped up out of nowhere again.
yeah. Yeah, I never was against Mariota's like being like a starting quarterback. What happened?
It happened.
Oh,
Told you it
turned
was
off.
going to happen.
But yeah, like I was never against Mariota as a starting quarterback. I liked him in Tennessee. I mean, I liked him in college. I wanted the Giants. Like, I mean, when Daniel Jones was going through those, 2 rough years in a row, I was like, bro, Giants, like, go make a move. You know what I'm saying? Like, go get Mariota. I'd rather have him. But I mean, hey, he might have found a home in Atlanta, and they might. I mean, I'm sure they'll. I don't know, because if they do well this year, then they're not going to have a top draft pick to even pick a quarterback.
And they just traded Deion Jones.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, AJ Terrell's still a great player. I know that they still got Grady Jarrett. They drafted Kyle Pitts, Drake London. Their offensive
Still have
line
Calvin
isn't-
Ridley.
Yeah, still have Calvin Ridley. And we'll see what their offensive line is. It's solid as of right now, but it's definitely not a top 10 unit by any means. So,
Should we segue that into from worst with Baker to our top 5 QB so far this year?
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
for sure. So I guess we'll just give our top 5 quarterbacks for the season so far, through the first 6 weeks.
yeah, I'll run it first. So number 1, I got Josh Allen. He has the most yards, most touchdowns. He's top 2 in QBR. He's really just shown that he's kind of the lead dog as of right now. Second, I got Jalen Hurts. Look, your team's undefeated. You guys have looked great. I think he's just got to keep it up. He runs the ball a lot, so that'll help all of his stats. Third, I got Patrick Mahomes. I really thought that Tyreek Hill not being there was going to hurt them. That's why I took the Chargers over the Chiefs to win the division, just because I thought there was going to be a little bit of regression, just getting used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth, I got Lamar. He was MVP front runner for the first 3 weeks, kind of tailed off a little bit. The whole Ravens team has. I saw something that, like, out of 4 games that they were leading, and I know the Dolphins game and last week was one of them. I forgot the other 2, but they were leading like in the fourth quarter at some point by multiple points, and then they come back and they end up losing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep. Yeah,
number 5?
they were leading for like 20 seconds.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
insane.
I mean, or like they didn't have a lead for like 20 seconds, like of all the games or something like that.
Yeah, it was something crazy. Number 5, I got Joe Burrow. He's put up a lot of good numbers. He had a couple, like in the beginning of the year, the offensive line was looking shady. Joe Mixon really wasn't able to get it going, but he's been able to hold it down. And I had Geno there for a second, but I think Joe B's put up good enough numbers. I think Geno's a little bit of a spark plug right now. Another team in Seattle, like Atlanta, nobody thought was going to really do much, so I feel like all those expectations really weren't warranted, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I was watching this, these guys that talk about fantasy football, and they were just saying, will next year be a year where drafting a quarterback in the second or third round is like a given now, where it's like you have to go and get.
I'm reaching on Josh Allen. And
You
guys
got to
like
go
Travis
get
Kelce
exactly
from now on. Like, quarterback and tight end, there's just not enough good. Like there's
not even
there's
enough of
so
good
many
running
wide
backs this
receivers.
year.
Even running backs, like you can find them. You can just piece it together through the season. You can make trades. There's only like 5 quarterbacks that I really want in fantasy.
Yeah, no, that's so.
Maybe even less than that. I mean, it's like Josh, Mahomes, Hurts, Lamar. Like those are the 4. Like guys like Burrow and Herbert, they have their weeks, but they're not as consistent as these other guys.
Yeah,
it's the dual threat guys for the most part.
Yeah, and I mean, like that was just fantasy, but like I was just tying that into this is because like. The 5 guys that Sam listed, like I feel like those are the only 5 guys you should have on your list this year.
Yeah.
I mean, then you can have guys that have been winning. Like I'm not saying Daniel Jones is a top 5 quarterback, but hey, he's winning. He's finding ways. Zach Wilson's finding ways to win. Geno, but to put those guys in that,
typical guys aren't there. Brady isn't there. Rodgers isn't there. Kyler, we said before, like they've been up and down in Arizona.
Matt Stafford,
Matt Ryan, both of those guys have been perennial Pro Bowlers for the past decade. Both of them are struggling heavily to start the year.
Derek Carr's not having a great year.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson obviously still isn't back yet.
Really 4 core guys right now, it seems.
Yeah. So
Ryan Tannehill, who was a guy who was putting up great numbers. Now that AJ Brown's gone, he's not putting up anything really.
Yeah, and then I mean Tua was having a pretty damn good year until the concussions. Yeah. Right. So, I mean, my top 5 this year is same thing, just a little different order. I got Lamar at 5 just because the way he's been playing recently at the end of games, he's kind of choking. He's, some of those decisions you just can't make as a quarterback, especially in year 4 or 5, whatever he's in.
Yeah, DJ Moore's another. I mean, that's another team that I feel like DJ Moore could be going to.
Absolutely. Number 4, I have Joe Burrow. Number 3, I have Jalen Hurts. Number 2, I have Patrick Mahomes, and then number 1, I have Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like if you don't have those 5, I mean, I guess you could try to say Herbert over Burrow, and I guess it's kind of a toss-up, and it's really not. It hasn't been Burrow. Burrow's been balling the past couple of weeks. Yeah. He's kind of figuring it out.
Herbert's numbers, I think, took a hit early just because Keenan Allen hasn't played since week 1. And we don't know if he's playing this week. They might sit him out this week because they got the bye next week. So they might just sit him out and say, hey, play what would that be, week 9, and make sure that you're completely fresh and we need to make a push.
Yeah. I mean, are guys like Jared Goff and Kirk Cousins in the conversation?
I think Kirk Cousins can be.
My list.
What's your list? You got him?
So my top 5 QBs so far this season, my honorable mentions, I have 2. So I have Jared Goff. I think that team has been banged up. They've been putting up numbers offensively. Swift got hurt. St. Brown was hurt. They're coming off a bye. But Jared Goff, I mean, he's been really good this year. And then I also have Joe Burrow. I think the only reason he's not on my top 5 and just an honorable mention, they had a slow start. So at 5, I have Geno. I think he's just... I mean, we all thought that they were going to be one of the worst 2 or 3 teams in the league this year, if not the worst. And they've been just... Their offense has been putting up points. Their defense is really the reason why they don't have as many. I think didn't they score 49 points in like week 2 or 3?
That was against the Lions, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a shootout. But he's just been playing. He's been making incredible throws. So I just think he deserves some love. I have Lamar at 4. He's struggled the past few weeks. He kind of, like you said, Zach, he's been choking a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's still, I think, from what we've seen in quarterbacks, I think he's still been top 4. 3, I have Hurts. They're undefeated. He looks awesome. 2, Mahomes, arguably the most talented quarterback in the league. No Tyreek Hill, doesn't seem to be a problem. And then 1, I have Josh Allen. I think he's been dominant this year.
Yeah.
He's just been balling out, showing like what we all talked about. I mean, I picked him for my MVP. I know you guys both thought he was going to have an awesome year too. The Bills they look really good. Will they come out on top? I don't know. It's going to be tough. I think probably going to be a rematch of them in the.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Them and the
Chiefs at some point in the playoffs. We don't know if it's going to be the championship.
Probably be back in Buffalo though.
Or
yeah, this time it'll probably be.
I mean, that's going to be. Get the popcorn. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
But I think it's just weird. I never thought I'd be saying Geno Smith and Jared Goff are like top quarterbacks this year, but I think they just are.
Well, yeah, because I mean, like we were saying, just when you have guys like Brady and Rodgers not having their usual years, it's like
and Matt Ryan and Matt Stafford. and the way like we said before, the way Tannehill's played over the last couple of years,
Yeah.
it is kind of crazy that they were able to step up to the plate. Guys like Mariota, Goff, and Geno. It's crazy.
Yeah, guys are getting opportunities and they're making the most of it. So
like Gino said, he didn't write back.
and
make
Russell
much
Wilson.
sense
We didn't even
in
bring up Russell Wilson.
No.
We
Yeah.
forgot to even mention
But it's
him.
like
He's
all
been
those
shit
guys,
all
like-
year.
Yeah, he
It's
has.
just age is catching up with him. It seems.
I mean, bro, he's 30, right? How old's Russell Wilson? 30, 31?
Yeah, I mean,
he's
he
a
was.
small quarterback. You know, it's like that contract he signed was absolutely ridiculous.
He's been in the league for 10 years,
Yeah.
That's a long time.
and he played in college for about 3 or 4 years. He was probably 22 when he came into the league, so he's probably 31, 32.
Yeah. Yeah, he just hasn't looked good at all, and I get it. Probably the play calling, whatever, the Hackett, but he just hasn't looked good. He hasn't looked like himself. He doesn't look like a playmaker anymore. He's not making throws. He looks like he's eyeing down one guy, Cortland Sutton, like every play. He's not really utilizing Judy or Hamler or. I mean, they're obviously Javonte Williams going down hurts them.
They don't know
He's-
who they want to hand the ball off to.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon or Boone.
Boone, and they just brought in Latavius Murray last week, and he led the team in carries last week, I think.
Yep. But
It seems like they're all over the place, and Nathaniel Hackett seems like he's not fit to be a head coach.
No, he
No.
won't last long.
No.
He might not even make it through the season.
Yeah.
no.
What's up next?
The early MVPs. I mean, I
think
mean,
we're
I
on the
think
same
it should
page.
be a
It's pretty
unanimous.
obvious.
Pretty
Yeah,
obvious
Josh
that's
Allen,
Josh Allen.
clearly.
Which Hurts is close, though. I think we all agree. Hurts is.
Hurts-
Oh, yeah.
he's been
Hurts is
awesome
definitely
this
right
year.
there.
I mean, yo, if the Eagles go
Undefeated.
15-2, 14-3, and the Bills do the same, I think it just comes down to the numbers. And I mean,
I feel like Josh Allen will get it.
I
I think
think
he'll have the edge. I think there's a little. Like, I think you could have made the case for Josh, like, the past few years at least.
Yeah, they're just
Maybe
going to
not
give it to him
last
because
year,
he was
but-
owed it before.
And now it's like, okay, you've kind of like you've been proving yourself for all these years, and now it's your time. But then I feel like it really depends because the Eagles, I mean, 15-2. I don't think the Bills will go 15. I think they'll drop a few. I think.
yeah,
Eagles though, their schedule.
Eagles could
They still got 2 against Washington, right?
Yeah, they got 2 against Washington,
2 against the Giants,
2 against the Giants, Cowboys again.
No,
They played
they
the
still
Cowboys
got
once, right?
one more against
Yeah,
the
they just played
Cowboys.
Sunday Night Football.
Yeah. So I mean, you never know. I mean, it could. I mean, Jalen Hurts is leading the league in rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
Selfish,
I don't know if that's
selfish in
sustainable.
fantasy.
Yeah,
right?
selfish in fantasy. Like
He's
that's another
really
that's
good,
another
though.
instance where it's like, is it worth taking running backs high? Because the way the quarterbacks move nowadays, they take touchdowns away. Singletary's getting touchdowns taken away by Allen.
Yeah.
Obviously we know Lamar's going to score him. Just Hurts is going to score him.
Kyler Murray gets rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, Kyler Murray.
Yeah, it's like but that's like the duo in fantasy. Like you see, if you have Josh Allen and then you have like a Travis Kelce or Mark Andrews, like you're probably going pretty far. If you
Yeah.
have Josh Allen, like, because he's just a walking 30. Like he can have a bad game and still finish with 26.
Yeah.
If Kirk Cousins, who is like, I looked today, I believe he's the number 10 and at least half point PPR, and he's like averaging like 15, 16.
Yeah.
Like a good game for him is like 18 points.
Yeah, it's a big drop off from like the
Josh
top
Allen's
from.
good game is 35 points, and it's the only reason he didn't hit 40 is because they took him out after the third because they're up so much.
Yeah, and I saw in our league, Stephon Diggs didn't get picked until the last pick of the second round.
Second round?
He was the 24th overall pick in our draft.
No, I think he was a keeper in our league. I think Savion kept him.
Savion kept him?
Yeah, I think you had a keeper.
I thought you couldn't keep people within the first 3 rounds.
No, you can. You just lose that pick. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
So I'm pretty positive Savion. I think it was the year before, 2 years. I think this was his second year keeping him. So I think like before he really had that crazy year, or I don't know. I'm pretty positive he kept him.
Yeah. And then we wanted to talk about who our comeback player of the year was.
I think you should start this one off because I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been pretty clear that Saquon Barkley should get comeback player of the year. I mean, his shoulders kind of scare me a little bit right now, but if this guy stays healthy and he maintains what he's doing, I mean, he's probably going to lead the NFL in all scrimmage yards. He's probably going to be, I don't know, top 5 in touchdowns and rushing touchdowns. probably projected for 12 to 1,300 yards, 60 plus receptions. He's having another one of those years, and it's going to be, it's going to be a no-brainer. I don't see anyone else in the same caliber doing what he's doing to,
It's cool to see guys like him and like Jalen Hurts like doing so well, because a lot of people kind of counted those guys out. Jalen Hurts, we saw in college he had to transfer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They were starting 2 over him. And then Saquon, even myself, like I have my doubts, because the first year off an injury like that is always, it's always the hardest. But yeah, he looks like peak Saquon.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's the best running back in the NFL. I think it's between him, Chubb, and
Chubb is.
I guess you got to throw Derrick Henry in that conversation, but as of right now, I think those are the best 3 backs in the league.
Yeah,
just pure runners.
JT's coming back this week, so we'll see how he's gonna look.
CMC and
know who's actually been really good, and I think a top 5 back this year so far, Josh Jacobs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs has looked really good this year too.
He's running.
Another Alabama running back, and Josh Jacobs was rookie year. He was a beast. Kind of tailed off his second year, and then last year they were just splitting carries all the time. Right? Is this year 4 for him?
I think.
Is this year 4 for him?
I think so.
Yeah. No, and wasn't Latavius Murray there too? Was he in Oakland last year? Well, Vegas.
I don't know,
It was Kenyon Drake.
Bounces
around
around
like the
stuff.
Saints
I
and,
feel like he was with the Ravens because J.K. Dobbins got hurt.
Yeah, he was. He definitely was with the Ravens. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I'm trying to think what other back they were sharing with.
I think it was it Jalen Richard? No, he's been out for a while now. I remember they had Jalen Richard, DeAndre Washington, just random third down guys that were just catching the ball.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I think Josh Jacobs has proved to be a top back, and they've been kind of riding him because their passing game hasn't been great. Devontae Adams has been kind of
A dud.
Yeah, up and down, and clearly,
suspended?
I don't know. I know he got.
Adams?
Yeah.
I know.
I think he had the charge against him, but nothing's come yet. I think they're gonna wait for the official.
I don't know. I find that crazy that the guy fucking pressed charges. Bro, the guy's going to the tunnel. Fucking run! Don't run in front of him.
I agree, but
I get it. He's
Still
mad.
shouldn't have shoved him.
Sure, but it's bro, to press charges.
Oh yeah, it's a money grab.
It's come on.
That's obvious.
Yeah.
He went to the hospital. Unless he fell on something like a piece of
Well,
equipment.
his
He could've
camera
got-
probably fell on him. He was carrying it.
Yeah. Fucking. This world is just so fucking soft.
Yeah.
And then rookie of the year. You guys can obviously talk about that. Probably gonna fucking sweep it.
Yeah, Brees and Sauce right now. There's really no other options. Trayvon Walker's looked good for Jacksonville.
Thibodeau.
So Thibodeau. I just feel like he needs to stay in the lineup. He's already missed, 2 or 3 games?
The first 2, I believe.
First 2?
But I saw his stats. He was
He's up
20.
there.
Yeah,
no,
and then
he's up
his
there.
1 sack was the game-winning forced fumble on
Yeah.
Lamar, and he's been balling.
Yeah. The thing, though, is that, obviously since Sauce has played every single game, he's, I think his QBR when thrown towards him is 12. He gives up a 12 QBR. He already has 10 passes defended. He has a pick. He has one of the best man coverage numbers according to PFF and Next Gen stats.
Wow.
So he's having just an insane year, and I think he's only given up 5 receptions in man coverage.
Wow.
Yeah, he looks like he's proven already to be top 5, 10 in that range corner in the league already.
Yeah, I think he's pushing top 10. I think there's a lot of good cornerbacks in the NFL right now. He's pushing that top 10 area. I would give him 11, 12 right now, just because I want to see him do it over the entire year. But he's
That
the
cheesehead thing
real
was
deal.
so funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
Who knocked it off?
Alan
Lazard?
Lazard.
Yeah, Lazard, right?
And then it was Lazard. And then on the offensive side, Brees is just finally when they decided to stick to him. Look, Michael Carter's a great back, but he's not Brees Hall.
Yeah, no.
So-
Brees Hall looks like he's going to be an elite back.
Yeah, he's got another gear. It's insane. I saw obviously the one big run against Green Bay, but the thing is that before that, he was still chugging out 10-yard carries by chunks, run after run after run, and he's able to catch the ball. It's not like he's one-dimensional like Nick Chubb. He's going to be able to catch the ball. He's going to be able to line up outside, and he wasn't even in the backfield really on on that touchdown run. He was lined up as a wing, as a wing back on the right side. Yeah. So I think he's a Swiss Army knife. He could be another guy like McCaffrey, who has breakaway speed. He's able to line up wherever you need him.
His comp was Saquon. They said he has all the intangible, like all the skill sets, speed, everything that Saquon has. The catching ability, rushing ability, vision, explosiveness, athleticism, everything. Everything Saquon has, they said like he could do that, and I think he's bigger.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think up top he's bigger. Saquon, I mean, only person that has as bigger thighs than Saquon is AJ Dillon. That dude's nuts.
But isn't it funny how like the Jets and Giants are both finding success kind of in the same ways?
Yeah.
Like both their offenses are like dependent on their elite running backs that are good. You know, you can throw it to them. They're great after the catch, after contact when running, and then their defenses are just stepping up and making plays.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like very similar teams right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, to think in the regular, before the season to make a bet that Aaron Rodgers would lose to the Giants and the Jets back-to-back weeks. I mean, I don't think anyone in the world would have put money on that.
Pretty nicely.
Yeah, especially one of them being in Lambeau, where he was 15 and 0 at Lambeau for like the last couple games or whatever it was.
Wow.
Like some wild stat, I think.
That's wild.
That is crazy.
And then, obviously, what we were talking about earlier, which was Christian McCaffrey to the 49ers. And I mean, what do you guys think that does to the 49ers? Does it make them a contender in the NFC, like, immediately? Does it put them that much over the top instead of using Jeff Wilson? Or
Jeff Wilson's done. You can drop him. I would say you could drop him from your league. You may
want to he's my RB2 in one of my leagues.
You could stash him on your bench if you want, just to hold on to him, because McCaffrey isn't the sturdiest of players. He gets injured quite frequently. They said already this week is that he's not. If he plays at all, he's not going to play a lot. He'll mostly be played in the red zone.
who, McCaffrey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. He was. I also saw a report saying that he was at practice today. He was on the field. He watched all the team drills. When practice ended, he was doing individual workouts with all the offensive coaches.
Wow.
So we'll see how much he's able to learn, how much of the playbook he's able to get a grasp on. But, yeah, I think Jeff Wilson's kind of like just somebody that you don't really need on your team anymore unless you want to.
I definitely think you should keep him on your roster.
Yeah, in case McCaffrey gets hurt, right?
McCaffrey's always injury prone.
Yeah.
But I think even before this trade, they were like contenders. I think we talked about this last episode or 2 episodes ago. But their defense is just elite. It hasn't looked great, but like we talked about, they've had injuries.
Yeah, they were banged up last week.
And now it's like, I mean, Jimmy G, is he the greatest? No, but we've seen you can win in the playoffs with him. And now they have CMC, who's a top 5 running back. Debo, who's arguably a top 5 receiver. Kittle, who's a top 5 tight end. They've got elite weapons everywhere.
Brandon Ayuk's looked good so far this year.
Yeah.
So, like, Jimmy G might not be a top 10 quarterback, but he can get the job done, and he's got elite weapons. So.
Yeah, and we've seen it before.
Yeah, I think CMC is just gonna raise the bar for everyone. He's gonna just give everyone more opportunities because you just got to pay so much attention to him out of the backfield in the passing game, in play action, everything. So I mean, it's gonna open up a lot with Debo and Ayuk and Kittle and.
I think he helps all them in fantasy as well.
Yeah, they're the biggest matchup nightmare for a team. No linebacker can guard Kittle. He's too fast for linebackers, too big for safeties. You could put Debo in the backfield. You could put McCaffrey out wide, switch him. You could put them both in the backfield, stack them outside.
Yeah, Shanahan's going to have a field day with these guys.
Him and McVay would be the perfect coaches to have that combo. And speaking of McVay, the Rams were, I think, the final team that were in the running for McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Who else was?
It was them too. I saw reports saying that the Bills were out of the running.
Yeah.
They were out of the running pretty early. Like I think it got a little too rich for them.
I think they're fine with Singletary.
Yeah, I mean, I like.
They got
Singletary.
3 of them. I mean, it's Singletary, Moss, and Cook.
Yeah. And Josh Allen runs. I mean,
right. That's what we were saying before.
Guy on the Chiefs last week.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He's nuts. But
let's wrap up football with our picks for the week.
Yeah. We want to touch on Elijah Moore real quick.
Yeah. Say
all right.
No, I'm not gonna talk too much shit. He was back at practice today, but the way that he fucking handled it was awful. And the fact that he was letting A.J. Brown influence him, because A.J. Brown was already established. He was already putting up 1,000 yards in the Pro Bowl, doing what he had to do. The fact that Elijah Moore let him influence him to act the way he did was just idiotic on his part, because he has no... I saw another group of stats saying that he has, in his first 17 games, more targets than Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, and another Cooper Kupp. He has more targets than them in his first 17 games than all of them do.
Wow.
And the fact that he's complaining about not getting targeted, especially when your team is winning games.
Yeah.
We're 4-2. This is the best start that the Jets have had in over a decade, and he's complaining. This isn't like Jamal. Jamal was complaining. He played great for 3 to 4 years with the Jets. He earned his money. The Jets didn't want to pay him. They weren't in a position to pay him, so they sent him away for picks. Elijah Moore, this is your second year in the league. You haven't played a full season where you've shown us that you were a top guy, and then you get mad because Garrett Wilson gets drafted here. Corey Davis was already here when you got drafted. Mm-hmm. Just because you're getting knocked down on the depth chart and you're not getting targets, he also has the most snaps out of all the receivers. He plays the most snaps on the offensive side of the ball for anybody in the receiver group. And the fact that he bitches about it is just mind-numbing to me. I don't understand.
The thing is, I was talking to some guys. It was like, if you're a professional athlete and you request a trade, fine. But you have to have had some sort of accomplishment at the pro level. Elijah Moore, like, he's got talent, but it's like he hasn't done anything, like you said, in the league. And he's like, yo, trade me. It's like, it just makes no sense. Like, the guys who request Anthony Davis in the NBA, you know,
right.
Guys like... who
But
have
Anthony
done
Davis was with New Orleans for 8 years before he did it.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like he was there. He accomplished things. Like, he was an All-NBA player. Then you got guys like A.J. Brown or Jamal Adams. Like, they were...
Even
Pro
DK
Bowl
Metcalf
players.
and Debo Samuel, like they did something for 2-3 years.
Yeah, and even then DK never said he wanted to get traded, right?
Well, no,
And
there
then
were
he
trade reports
There
this
were
offseason.
rumors, but it wasn't
There
like
were
what
rumors.
Elijah
Yeah, there
Moore
wasn't
was
a
just
yeah.
throwing a fit, crying because he didn't get targets. It was like 2 weeks he didn't get targets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He had like 60 yards the first game Wilson came back in week 3. That just doesn't make any sense to me. But
Yeah.
let's do our picks and stop talking about this bozo. Like, we're all like, we don't even.
And I love him. Like, he's such a good player.
All Jets fans have done to support him. And in week 7, is it week 7 we're going?
It's
into?
week 7
Yeah.
we're going into, yeah.
And he's demanding a trade in his second year.
At 4-2, like if we were 0-6, like everybody pegged us to be, yeah, fine, do it. Like if that's what you want to do, we're still a bad team and you're not getting any targets and you don't see any future with us, yeah, go ahead and do it. But you have the most snaps out of anybody on the team and you're on a winning football team. What more can you ask for? Go to Chicago, trade you to Chicago,
Yeah,
so you
you
could
wanna
get
go
your
there?
fucking 45 to 70 receptions a year and
Justin Fields
win
is
3
worse
games a
than
year.
Zach Wilson, if he gets traded to the Bears, nothing's changing. All he's got to do is playing even colder weather,
Yeah. Seriously.
and he won't even win any games. At least here you could win games.
Right? Like
Stupid. Just ridiculous. Like, accomplish something in your career before you're crying and demanding a trade and leaving practice.
Crazy.
Must be nice to just be. Imagine a regular person did that shit at their job. All right, goodbye.
Do you know Spiral Crush on or Spiral Kush? I forget what it is, but he's on he's like a big Jets guy on Twitter. I've been following him for a couple years.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. He's a really chill dude. But he said he's done with Elijah. He wants Elijah out, and he was saying, "Fuck it, let's send him to Carolina. We'll trade him straight up for DJ Moore," which I don't want. I think he's just saying it because he's pissed. But I wouldn't be fucking mad if it happened.
No.
Send him there. Let him play with Baker.
Yeah, let him play with Baker.
Play with
let
Baker
him
and lose the rest of the game.
no
Every
more
game
no
for the
more
rest of the
McCaffrey. The fucking head coaching staff is all gone. You're gonna fucking finish the season with 2 wins at the most. But you'll have your 40 receptions.
All right. Let's jump into these
Shit is
picks.
funny, yeah.
All right. Raleigh's been kind of killing us so far. He has like a, I don't know, 6 or 7
How did
game
we
lead
do
on
last
you.
season? Did we tally?
Did you
that up?
tally it up?
I did, yeah. I have the, let me see. My notes are here. computer. So I have the. It's been pretty rough for me.
You're trying to be different because you got to catch up, and then
That's
it's
exactly
backfiring.
right. Yeah.
No, and it also sucks because like I pick third all the time.
All right, you start this.
Yeah,
week.
start
You
it.
go first.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I hear you guys both pick, and then I'm like,
All right, you're going first this week.
all right, cool. All right, Browns, Ravens,
Ravens.
Ravens.
Bucks, Panthers, Bucks.
Bucks.
And when you say it, is the second team is the home team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Falcons, Bengals,
Bengals.
Bengals.
Lions, Cowboys.
Cowboys. Dak is back.
Cowboys.
Giants, Jaguars, Giants.
Giants.
I mean, these games are all like.
I don't know. That might be a trap game for the Giants.
That can be a
I
trap
did
game.
hear someone say that.
That's why I paused. It
You
can
know
be a
Elite
trap game.
Takes on TikTok?
Who?
No.
Elite Takes?
No.
He makes fire videos.
Right. Packers, Commanders, Packers. Don't do that. Don't do that.
All right, Packers.
Colts, Titans.
Colts. JT is back.
I'll go Titans.
Texans, Raiders.
Raiders.
Jets, Broncos. Jets.
Jets.
Chiefs, Niners. Chiefs.
Niners.
I'll go Niners as well.
All right.
If you win that one, you make a game.
So win. Yeah, that's huge. Need it. Seahawks, Chargers.
Seahawks.
Steelers, Dolphins.
Is Tua back?
Yeah. Yeah, Dolphins.
Bears, Pats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we all had the same thing up until
Yeah,
the Chiefs game.
I picked the Seahawks just so I could switch it up because.
Yeah, I felt that too. I really wanted to go Jags. I really think that it could be a trap game.
I saw that and
Could be.
I agree, but I just think the Giants are like I think with Dable, like they're gonna just come in prepared, whereas with in the past they'd probably be like on their high, like but I think they're gonna be locked in.
Yeah.
You just can't do that in the NFL. It's too easy to lose. Unless you're like the Bills and you're playing like the Bears. But
Yeah.
even the Bills lost to the Jags last year, so
Yeah.
just gotta come prepared every week.
And then you want to finish up. I mean, we'll finish up with like our little NBA talk. Obviously, it's only been two or three nights so far of NBA, and then we last episode we did our Eastern Conference predictions with the over-unders, and then there's not too much to talk about. The NBA, not much has happened yet, other than Anthony Davis getting hurt again. Embiid looks fat and out of shape.
Harden looks good.
Harden looks great.
Russ looks solid according to him.
Russ
looks horrible.
0 for 11 last night.
I can't believe he said that in the post game. He was like, "I played solid. 0 for 11, 5 rebounds, 4 assists." Like, what are you saying, bro?
Donovan Mitchell looked really good in his Cavs debut.
Yep.
He's great.
Yeah.
John
he's-
Morant.
Really good. Ja looks awesome.
Ja is insane. Like we were saying before, he has 45 points tonight.
Yeah.
You guys want to just get right into this?
Yeah, let's get
yeah.
into it.
So over-unders in the West. So starting with the Northwest, we got Utah. The over-under for them is 24.5.
Over.
Yeah, over. I
I
think
think
that's
I'm gonna
really
go over
low.
as well. Timberwolves, 49.5.
Under.
Under as well. That seems pretty high for them. Blazers, 39.5.
Under.
Under. OKC, 23.5.
Over.
Over. And Nuggets, 49.5.
Over.
Over.
We all agree on all those. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that number for the Wolves is pretty high.
Yeah, I don't think they're
I could
winning
see-
49.
yeah.
I can see if everything goes right.
Yeah, it
yes,
has to
but
go perfect.
Everything has to go right for them.
Like Rudy has to be a top top 5 defensive of the year candidate, which
And
he
they have
usually
to
is.
gel together, like have some chemistry.
Ant has to
Yeah.
continue to progress. D'Lo has to be able to be okay and take a step back
that
still.
OKC number is so low, but I just
I can-
wonder with these bottom teams. I think we talked about. I brought this up last episode. Are they really just gonna be just resting? Like OKC is just not gonna play guys like Gideon Shea because like they just want to have the worst record, try and get Wembanyama.
I hope not. I mean,
I guess, but
I
it's
just
still.
feel
But
like
with
it
the
could
lottery, it
happen.
doesn't guarantee you the first
Yeah, it
pick.
still
though.
Yeah,
doesn't-
but you get the best odds.
Like this, you get the best odds. Yeah, but I mean, even
I
if
mean,
you,
this dude he might be the best he is the best prospect since LeBron, I would say.
yeah,
He looks
Yeah.
he looks crazy.
yeah, no, he
You see the
does.
video of him like walking over like the chairs?
Yeah,
I mean, he seems chill too. He seems like a good guy. From one clip. Let's get into the Pacific. So the over-unders for the Pacific. Warriors, 51.5.
over,
over,
Clippers, 52.5.
over,
over slightly,
I'm going to go under with that one. Suns, 52.5.
under,
over,
Under. Lakers, 45.5.
under,
over,
Under. Kings, 33.5.
under.
I like them, but under.
I'm going to go over for them. I think the Kings, they have a sneaky good roster.
I think they do too. Like I said, I think it's gonna be like 32 wins, like just under.
Yeah, I think they'll be in that range. I think they'll be fighting for a playing spot.
Mm.
I don't. The Lakers. I don't know about them. I just think.
I mean, they're gonna make a move.
Yeah, they
what
got.
is
They're
that?
gonna-
They can't.
What's the move?
They-
I mean,
what
bro,
do-
it's probably gonna be Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, or it's gonna be someone, bro. Russ is not finished, and Russ is not making it to the trade deadline or All Star break. He's
Yeah.
not.
I mean, I picked LeBron and AD as the best duo, and I still think when healthy they are. But they're 3 through 12. It's the
Horrible.
worst in the league.
Yeah, like
and it's
the
not
fact that
even
Toscano
close.
has been their like next best player these past 2 games is just embarrassing.
Yeah,
They're far
I mean,
and
Lonnie
away.
Walker looks alright. I like Lonnie.
Lonnie
He's not
does look
bad.
good.
I don't even.
He's
I
the
like
best
Pat
on-ball
Bev, too,
defender.
but
I like him.
Yeah, Pat Bev's kind of annoying though.
Pat Bev is like
He's
your
just a
fourth
little too
best
much.
player. Like you just got issues.
Yeah, that roster sucks.
It's just bad. It makes no sense the way they construct.
They're like 19 for 48 on threes this year, I think. Or that's what I heard like during the game against the Clippers. That was the stat.
That
It's
Westbrook
terrible.
trade really just screwed them because if they still had Caruso and like Kuzma,
Yeah, that was so
like
stupid.
and KCP, like that. At least those guys play defense
And
Yeah.
shoot.
and could shoot. Caruso is
And
I love
Ron,
Caruso. He's great.
like when they're running on the open court, Russ is almost a guaranteed turnover when he's running around with the ball. It's insane.
It's bad. It's not looking good for them. Clippers. The only reason I took the under for them is Paul George and Kawhi are just always missing games.
Yeah.
Even if they're like healthy all year, the load management.
I just think like 1
They have
through
a good
9.
roster, though.
1 through 9, they're deep.
Yeah. Bless you.
Bless you.
I
Thank
think,
you.
I think Zubats is really underrated.
Zubats is good, bro.
Solid.
Batum is good. Morris is good. Norman Powell is good. Luke Kennard is good, bro. They got hoopers like
Yeah.
all around. They got a bunch of Reggie Jackson. They got a bunch of guys that can get you 20 points any given night.
Yeah.
They're tough. The Warriors 51.5. I
Like,
might
how-
type that in. I think I thought it was 53.5.
How is it only 2 games different than the Timberwolves?
Yeah, that doesn't make
I
any
don't know, but
sense.
that's the easiest over. I feel like.
Yeah, that's
possibly.
the easiest over. Where did you find that number? Like CBS or ES?
VegasInsider.com.
Yeah.
It was the first thing that came out.
that's crazy.
I think the Celtics have the highest. It's like loading right now. Pretty sure the Celtics are 53. Yeah, Warriors at the 5th highest. All right, so over under for the Southwest. Pelicans 44.5.
Over.
Yeah, slight over.
I go over as well. Grizzlies 48.5.
Over.
Over.
Over. Spurs 22.5.
Over.
Under.
Under, they're bad. Mavericks 48.5.
Under.
I'll go under.
I'm going under as well. And then Rockets 23.5.
Over.
Over.
Over. So the Mavericks that's high. Lost
Yeah.
Brunson. They didn't what they win 50 games last year?
Yeah.
Roughly.
And
They brought in
they
Christian
added
Wood,
JaVale
JaVale
Wood.
McGee. I don't know. I think they're probably like a 46-47 win team. As much as that's like close to it, I think they're in that range more, like 45 to like 47.
What were they last year?
I don't know. I think they were around this number.
Yeah.
But Pelicans seems like 44.5 for them. They look good. They played the Nets, so we don't know if the Nets are just completely fraudulent. But
No, I think the Nets just need some
Zion
time.
was just Ben Simmons. It was a rough night for Ben Simmons to come back.
Yeah, because he hasn't played in so long. I mean, the fact that you put him up against
when
Zion.
he's healthy, like he's him. Like, he's so like he's just
good.
different. He's literally the definition of built different. Like,
Yeah, no, he's good, bro.
he's a freak athlete, man.
Golden State's down 13 right now to Denver.
Wow.
Denver's good, bro. They're good.
No, I know they're good, but 13 points.
But you know the Warriors, they could come. That's a 2-minute run for them.
Right, no, I know. Yeah, and it's still 8:20 left to go in the third.
Do we have anything else?
I don't think
we
so.
touched on everything. Oh, I mean,
Too little.
yeah, I mentioned before that two are back this week, but we mentioned that.
Oh yeah, two is back.
I think that's a little early. For
Oh,
him
and
to
you know
come
what I
back.
heard? I heard Big Cat talking about it. How many times do you think the? All right, better question. In the NFL, out of all the Sunday Night Football games, I think he said Sunday Night Football on NBC has been going on since 2006. What team do you think has had the least amount of appearances on Sunday Night Football?
Sunday night,
Yeah,
Jags.
with
Yeah.
2 games.
I was gonna say Jaguars.
The Miami Dolphins have the same amount of Sunday Night Football games.
Well, they've been shit. They've been just as bad as the Jaguars. The Jaguars were better than the Dolphins for a while with David Garrard and when they were.
Oh, well, with Bortles and Ramsey too.
But still, like when did David Garrard retire? 08? 09?
I mean, they almost made the Super Bowl. Like
Yeah, they were like
few
AFC
years ago.
Championship game.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. That's only 3 years into NBC being a part of Sunday Night Football.
True.
You still have the next 13 years after that, and even the Dolphins, like,
yeah, that is weird. Like, why? I mean, like I guess the
And
Texans
one of-
had Watson.
one of the games was against
Stafford.
the Jets. It was I think it was Chad Henne versus Mark Sanchez. He said that was the game that Revis had that 100-yard pick six on Brandon Marshall. Back in, I guess it was 2009 or 2010. It was
Yeah,
20. Yeah, it
10,
was
yeah.
2010. I think.
Wow.